We're going to look specifically at osmosis today. So just to review the differences between diffusion and osmosis. Diffusion is movement from an area of high concentration to an area of lower concentration. So this right here is before the diffusion and then after the diffusion. So you have a lot of concentration outside the cell, and these particles diffuse to inside the cell until things are evened out. Osmosis is diffusion of water across a membrane. So again, osmosis is just dealing with water across a membrane, and we're going to look at how that affects a cell. So water wants to be balanced. A couple things that we need to look at is that water is a solvent, and any other molecules that we put into the water are solutes. So here you have more water and less solute, less particles dissolved in the water. Here you have more solute and less water. So osmosis goes from high concentration to low concentration, and we're dealing just with water here. So because you have more water on the left-hand side here, it's going to move across this semi-permeable membrane to this side until it is evened out, until the water and solutes are evenly dispersed. Again, here's another example of this. Here you have high water concentration on the left-hand side and low concentration of water on the right-hand side. Here you have solute is low, here solute is high. So the water wants to move across the membrane, again, from high concentration of water to low concentration of water. It wants to move across this membrane to even out the water levels. So water molecules move from high concentration, low concentration, where the solute is highly concentrated, until a balance is achieved. So looking at osmosis in animal cells, you have three types of movement of water. First one right here is isotonic, where you have a concentration of water on the inside and outside of the cell that is equal. So what's going to happen here is water is going to be moving in and out of the cell fluidly. Okay, and the cell will stay the same size in this situation. In a hypotonic solution, or a hypotonic example, the concentration of water is higher outside the cell than inside. So here we would have a lot of water on the outside and not as much water on the inside. And what's going to happen is water is going to go from high concentration to low concentration, and the water is going to rush into the cell. What happens is that the cell will swell as the water moves into the cell. And if too much water moves in, then it could burst. Here is a hypertonic example where you have a greater concentration of water inside the cell and not as much outside the cell. So what's going to happen here is the water is going to move from inside the cell to outside the cell, and the cell will shrivel up because it's losing water. This also can occur in plant cells. The difference between the animal cell and the plant cell in this case is that you have this cell wall and then the cell membrane surrounding the cytoplasm and things inside. So this would be an isotonic example where your concentration is equal inside and outside the cell, and water is going to move freely into and out of this cell. Cell will stay the same size. The next one, hypertonic, is where you have the concentration of water is higher on the outside of the cell, and that water is then going to move into the cell, and it's going to cause the cell to swell, okay, because the water is moving into. And you can see that this is very turgid. It's very expanded here. Hypertonic is where you have more water inside and not as much outside. So the water is going to move from inside the cell to outside the cell. And what happens is the cell is going to shrivel up and shrink. Now, because this is a plant cell, this cell wall isn't going to move. The actual cell membrane is going to pull apart from the cell wall, and all the inside is going to shrivel up. Again, here's an example. Here are pictures of a red blood cell through the isotonic, hypertonic, and hypertonic solutions. Okay, and again, the plant cells, what those would look like in those situations. Here, remember isotonic, you have water moving into and out of equally. Here you have a higher concentration of water outside the cell moving into the cell where the cell could burst. And here you would have had a higher concentration of water inside the cell and that water would be moving out, causing the cells to shrivel. And one more graphic for you. So the left-hand side is inside the cell, the right-hand side is outside of the cell. And you can look at the solute versus solvent here. You have a lot of particles here, not as much water. Here you have a lot more water, not as many particles or solute. So here you have more water inside, which means that the water is going to rush from inside the cell to outside the cell. Okay, so this would be a hypertonic example, okay, where the water leaves the cell and the cell will lose water and shrivel. Now, if you look at this is under a microscope for this plant cell, and you can see that this is a cell wall, these little lines right here, and you can see that it's shriveling up inside the cell wall, and it pulls away from the cell wall. Here, this is where you have isotonic, you have equivalent solute and solvent on each side. Okay, so the water is going to move into and out of these cells equally. And this last one here, inside the cell, has more water than outside the cell. I'm sorry, you have more solvent here than here. So the water is going to move into the cell, and this is hypotonic, where it's going to take on water and expand and could possibly burst.